I did not. I'll be very honest. When I started off Redikall, I thought 3,500. At that point of time, they used to charge 3,500. 3,500 में कौन सा life change होने वाला है? Everything was magical. I had no judgments about people. I was happy, and then I kept on maintaining it, retaining it, and started. It became a part of my life. First of all, the experience is miraculous. It's magical. That's about the experience. But then you have to come and experience it.
Excellent. So welcome, Rakesh, to this little interview of ours. Tell me something about yourself.
Ma'am, I'm Rakesh Premjit Sen. I'm from Calcutta, and I'm a senior corporate manager who's been involved with Redikall for 2 years.
I see. Okay. So how did you hear about Redikall?
Ma'am, actually, prior to Redikall, I was trying out new methods of consciousness raising in a manner. So I was involved with Access Consciousness.
Okay.
So there I met Rajkumari ma'am, who happens to be the facilitator in Calcutta. So she did a free session on sound healing, and then she started giving me updates about this thing. So I was not sure at first whether to go for it or not, but then my wife, being an alternate therapy practitioner, she kind of forced me into it, and I was looking out for ways to kind of get ahead in life, because though I was doing pretty well in my career and life otherwise, but I still thought I needed more at that point of time. So I was looking out, and I think Redikall was the answer.
Your wife is an alternate therapy practitioner. Then what really prompted you to learn Redikall?
Ma'am, I was actually looking at more at self-reliance. I mean, something that I could do with self-reliance and not depending on people. Every time I had to I faced an issue of sort. Though I do not place it as an issue now, after I've been through 3 levels of Redikall. So I had to be I had to ensure that my wife was free. Then I would give her all the tantrums, and then she would heal me. I would be a crybaby. I was very short-tempered, very moody prior to Redikall. So that has come down a bit. So that's a different story altogether. But that prompted me. I thought there must be something in the universe which helps you, teaches you to be self-reliant.
Right.
I mean, otherwise, there are people around me who were always very self-reliant. They did not depend on anybody emotionally, either on their family, neither on their finances, for anything. So I was looking at the consciousness raising, but I did not know the appropriate terms at that point of time. Yeah, and I knew there was something beyond logic, because that was always there. I mean, ingrained in me right from my childhood. So
okay,
that is what prompted me.
So if someone asks you to describe Redikall in a few words, how would you describe it?
Redikall in few words. First of all, the experience is miraculous. It's magical. That's about the experience. But then you have to come and experience it, because I cannot be a volunteer for other people and tell them how it works. But it will work miracles and magic for sure in whatever area of life you're looking at.
So have you done any other forms of therapy? Have you learned any other forms of therapy?
Yeah, I know a bit about Access Consciousness.
Oh yeah, Access Consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I'm not a certified practitioner.
Right. So for you, Redikall was magical and it was miraculous.
It was life-changing, ma'am. It was life-changing. Actually, a lot of things changed after that. Once I got enrolled into Redikall, I did not. I'll be very honest. When I started off Redikall, I thought 3,500. At that point of time, they used to charge 3,500. 3,500 में कौन सा life change होने वाला है? This is exactly what I thought. When initially I thought, it wasn't worth it. Okay, based on the humble price, they were based on the humble pricing it had. So then I started off. Then after the first day, I remember, and that day it used to be 1 day Redikall workshop for crystalline mind. At that point of time, now it's 2 days. So I got out. When I got in and when I got out, I felt the difference right away. So that was magical. I remember the next 7-8 days, I was in in human language, if you call it a trance, it was a trance. Everything was magical. I had no judgments about people. I was happy. And then I kept on maintaining it, retaining it, and started. It became a part of my life.
So, I mean, the start of Radikall was the way it is. When did you feel that Radikall was much more than just a therapy? Did you ever get a feeling like that? It is just much more than a therapy?
Actually, honestly, when I started off, I was doing, it kind of created awareness. Now, at that point of time, I was not aware what is awareness all about. So, while you would do R5, IR5, this, IR5, that, you keep doing that. So, it generates awareness. And basically, I treated it as a word game, initially. But then after I completed level 2 and 3, I realized that at that point of time, the words which were coming into my mind were actually the awareness it was giving to me. Then, of course, 2 and 3 gave me a brighter and a clear picture of the entire story. So what was actually happening at that point of time. But then I witnessed situations changing, events changing, people around me changing. And I was like, oh God, what's happening? So that was the feeling.
Great. So you saw things changing around you, people changing, world changing, events changing, everything. And I assume it's given you a very good feeling, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, but now that you are with Radikall, tell me, do you think you can sustain it? I mean, or is it just a one-off learning and you can say ki chalo ho gaya bas nahi iske aage?
But sustaining, I don't need to sustain it because it has become a part of my life. So every time there's an issue, as we describe it in the human language. Okay, there's an issue. So I just go to the book, I refer, I do my affirmations, I know it's a done deal. So I don't worry about them. So, and I don't look at it as ups and downs. I don't look at it as issues. I know there's a brilliance in this. Okay, this is the brilliance. Fine. I go ahead with it and the issue is solved. So I don't think about it anymore.
So in a way, there is a belief that you have in Radikall that it really works. Yeah.
Because it works. Because it's not a belief. I mean, you only believe something. You can believe things that at most of point of your time. I mean, not actually witnessing the reality. Because others have the belief. No, it's not a borrowed belief. It is something that I've witnessed in my life. I've seen. My father-in-law is a Parkinson's patient. I remember at that point of time with Redikall, his health, it changed drastically. I mean, if I compare my father-in-law, 2 years back and 2 years now, from there on, there's a hell and heaven difference. And you're witnessing the change. It's right there in front of you. So there's no belief. I know it works. It is what it is.
Okay, excellent. And so we know that that thought that it works for you, but living your life on a daily basis, which involves interaction with people at the workplace, at home, there is still a continuous flow of ups and downs that keep happening. Yeah. I'm sure they keep happening in your life too. So how do you deal with them now and what has changed? Give us an example also.
Well, I used to be, at one point of time, one major issue in my life would be that at one point of time, I used to be very good looking. So, I started losing my hair at one point of time and I started receiving a lot of black and criticism for it. And I started getting angrier. So that changed. I mean, now I know why it happened, what caused it to happen and all that. I know it. And as I've already mentioned that I don't look at it as ups and downs. I know it's a conditioning in your mind. You think bad about yourself. You judge yourself as ugly, beautiful, very ugly. That's what the world will project to you. And maybe there was a lot of need to learn through others, which has been, I think, a very important part. And there are a lot of borrowed and inherited beliefs which were not mine, basically. So I've understood that. So now I don't look at it as ups and downs. That's what.
Right. So, Rakesh, if we have to ask you, now that you've done 3 levels, and I'm sure you'd like to do a little more later, what is that one message that you would like to give to the new Radikall learners who want to enter the field of Radikall?
Come and experience it. You don't need anybody's approval, opinions. You don't need to believe anybody. Just do it once, experience the magic, and you will know it for yourself. That would be my message. So what changed after level 3 was I was a chain smoker, and I used to smoke 30-40 cigarettes a day at one
A
point of
day?
time. A day, ma'am. Yes. So that has come down to 5 now. And that too, I do it sometimes out of I just do it just like that. I don't need I don't have the urge to smoke anymore. So that addiction has come down drastically. So that is one change. And the other change was, ma'am, I had a huge problem in my, I faced an issue for 12 years in the solar region. Okay, because I was a football player in my college. So my coach taught me something, how to kind of keep your breath in and not release it so that you could increase your fitness and strength and speed. So it became a part of my life. And then I realized at one point of time that I was not breathing for 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes 15 minutes, So that problem changed after I completed level one Redikall. That too, one day I was walking back home on a bridge where suddenly it struck to me that the statement was in my vernacular language. I'm a Bengali, so I used IR5, the affirmation in Bengali, and the thing just vanished. It just vanished in split seconds. Something I taken medication for it previously did not work. Okay, so it lasted for 12 days, and I thought it's a part of my life. I cannot change it. It actually changed within 2 minutes. This was something, and I'd written about it in Redikall group as well. I had this problem in my solar region for 12 years. So one day I was walking on the bridge and it was not getting sorted out because I tried medication previously and everything. So an awareness struck me. I did something. I R5'd it and the rest of it in my Bengali language, and the thing vanished. It just got healed in 2 minutes. It takes 2 minutes for me to cross the bridge, and it also got healed in 2 minutes. And I couldn't believe it.
Great. Tell me, how do you know it got sorted in 2 minutes? How do you know that?
Because ideally it would take you 2 minutes to cross the bridge.
Agreed.
So I got up on the bridge. I had this awareness. I started saying IR5 and the rest of it in Bengali language. And I kept on saying it without counting, without doing anything very scientific. So I did it. By the time I had crossed over to the other side.
Was it a physical pain or something?
Yes, it was a physical pain.
And it just disappeared in 2 minutes.
And disappeared, and from there on, it never came back.
Wow. Amazing.
Fabulous. Fabulous. So you're happy with Redikall, right?
Very. More than happy, ma'am.